There's a guy I know named James. He's 34, works in marketing, lives just outside Denver. Good salary, nothing crazy, around $65,000 a year. Every time he sees something he wants online, he clicks. New wireless earbuds? In the cart. A kitchen gadget he'll use twice? Purchased. That jacket on sale? Already on his porch. Then there's someone else. Let's call her Sarah. Same age, same income, same zip code. Same Instagram feed showing her the exact same products. But when Sarah finds something, she doesn't buy it. She screenshots it. She saves the link, and then she waits. Both of these people are walking through the exact same consumer landscape. Both have the same brain chemistry pushing them toward that dopamine hit of a purchase. But by the end of the year, they're living in completely different financial realities. If you are someone who feels like your spending is running on autopilot, like money disappears and you can't quite figure out where it all went, this video is about to change how you think about shopping. Subscribe and like this now, because the technique I'm about to share with you works so well that most people don't even realize they're doing it. Here's what people get wrong about impulse buying. They think it's a math problem. They think if they just had more willpower or a stricter budget, they'd be fine. But willpower is fighting biology. You're trying to use discipline to override dopamine. That's not how this works. Neuroscience shows us that when you see something you want, especially online, your brain releases dopamine, the same chemical that fires when you eat something delicious or win a small game. Your nervous system isn't regulated. You're not in a calm decision-making state. You're in a reward-seeking state. And retailers know this. They've engineered it. Limited time offers, countdown timers, only 3 left in stock. Those aren't accidents. They're specifically designed to collapse the thinking window you'd normally have. They're trying to get you to act before your conscious brain catches up with your impulses. The real problem isn't that you're broken. It's that the system is designed to exploit the way human brains actually work. And the solution isn't more willpower. It's a pause. A simple 48-hour pause that lets emotions settle so intention can emerge. Let me introduce you to what I call the pause that separates emotion from intention. Here's the mechanism. When you feel the urge to buy something that isn't essential, you don't click checkout. Instead, you capture it. You save the link, you take a screenshot, you write it down. That one small action, capturing the impulse without spending money, actually satisfies the initial craving without the financial damage. Then you wait. Exactly 48 hours. Why 48 hours specifically? It's the window where emotion and dopamine response fade, but long-term desire remains. One day isn't quite enough. Your central nervous system is still elevated. 3 days starts to feel punitive. Your brain rebels against hard rules. But 48 hours? That's the Goldilocks zone. Let's talk about what James experienced when he started this. For his whole adult life, James was averaging around $3,380 a year in impulse purchases. That's $282 every single month. To put that in perspective, that's enough to cover your phone bill, your internet, and your gym membership combined. Or it's like taking $9 out of your wallet every single day and burning it. When James started using the 48-hour rule, he didn't change his budget. He didn't download a new app. He just started writing things down and waiting. Here's what happened in the first 48 hours. Around hour 3, he got mildly annoyed. He thought about the thing again. He looked it up, read some reviews, felt the wanting spike back up. And then something shifted. By hour 20 or so, he started thinking differently. Not, do I want this, but am I going to care about this on Saturday? And usually, the answer was no. In his first month of using the 48-hour rule, James logged about a dozen almost purchases, things ranging from new headphones to home decor. Some he still thought about after the waiting period, but most of them, the urge had completely dissolved. He saved $550 in that first month alone. That's money he didn't have to earn, money he didn't have to budget around, money that stayed his. Here's the thing that surprised him most. He expected it to feel restrictive. He thought he'd be frustrated, constantly wanting things he couldn't have. But what actually happened was the opposite. About 70% of the items he wanted in the moment, he forgot about them within 2 days. Not because he has a bad memory, but because the want had a lifespan. It spiked when he saw the product. It lasted while his dopamine was still elevated. And then it evaporated. The items he genuinely cared about, those remained. Sarah still thinks about the coffee maker after 48 hours. James still wants the running watch. But here's the difference. When they buy those things, they're not buying them in an altered state. They're buying them intentionally. And the regret rate on intentional purchases is almost non-existent. But there's something darker happening here that most people miss. This whole system, the artificial urgency, the flash sales, the limited inventory messages, it's not an accident. It's engineered. And it works because it exploits the real gap between desire and decision-making. You're not weak for feeling this pull. You're human. Your brain is doing exactly what it evolved to do. But that same brain can learn a different rhythm. It can learn that waiting doesn't mean losing. It means owning your choices again.
So here's how you actually implement this. It's a 3-part system, and it fits on the back of an index card. First, capture. Don't purchase. When you feel the urge to buy something that isn't essential, that new gadget, that clothing item, that course you found on a Tuesday night, stop. Don't complete the transaction. Instead, save it. Screenshot it. Add it to a wish list. Text it to yourself. This act of capturing actually satisfies the initial impulse without costing you anything. You've still engaged with the desire, but you've disconnected desire from action. Second, wait the 48 hours and ask 3 questions. When you come back to that item on day 2, ask yourself these things. 1, do I already own something that does this job? If you have a notebook at home and you're buying another one, stop. 2, where exactly will I use this? If you can't picture it in your life, it's not yours to own. 3, would I pay full price in cash right now? If the discount is the only reason, the sale was the product. It wasn't meant for you. Sarah uses this system now. When she logged back in 2 days later to check on that expensive coffee maker, she asked these questions and realized she already had a perfectly good one. She saved $180. When James wondered about the running watch after 48 hours, he asked the same questions and realized he genuinely uses fitness tracking. He bought it. No regret. This is the difference between deprivation and intention. You're not never buying things. You're just buying the things that actually matter to you instead of the things that matter to a marketing algorithm. Remember James and Sarah from the beginning? Both of them earn the same money. Both of them see the same endless stream of products designed to convince them they need something. But James stayed in that reactive loop for years. Sarah stepped out of it almost immediately. By the end of the year, the gap between them isn't small. It's not $50. It's not even $200. It's often over $1,500. And that's not money James is earning more. It's money Sarah is keeping. The 48-hour rule isn't about being broke or depriving yourself. It's about owning your own choices again. It's about the subtle difference between want and intention, between impulse and decision. Every time you use it, you're reclaiming space in your mind that retailers were renting for free. You don't need an app. You don't need a spreadsheet. You need a pause. And that pause, more than any amount of motivation, will change how you move through a world designed to make you spend. The next time you find yourself reaching for that buy button, remember, the best purchases are the ones you wanted 48 hours ago. Everything else was just noise.